What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck. This is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Sunday, August 21st, 2022, and this is my Amc Gme and SPY Algo exposed weekly update and preparation video for tomorrow and beyond. As always, I hope y'all had a great week in the market last week. Once again, it has been that long since we have talked and or seen each other. I am still, after 14 days, testing positive and battling this COVID. It's been unbelievable. It has absolutely kicked my ass. However, I am feeling a million times better than I obviously was at the beginning. Once again, thank you all for reaching out, for your well wishes and all of that good stuff. I do believe I should be able to push through this week like a normal week with the update and prep videos nightly, hopefully, and potentially, possibly the live stream on Wednesday. I will keep you all in the loop for sure, but as of right now, as long as I don't regress at all, I do believe I should be able to see this week through as a normal week. So moving on, let's dive into these charts here. What I showed you all last week was essentially what I'm about to show you again this week. The current intra-week snake on AMC is what you see on your screen currently. And that was the intra-week snake last week as well, and the position of it. And all of last week, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday fulfilled as you see it there. You can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond what the projection is from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. So that is the current intra-week snake on AMC and its fulfillment all of last week and the projection moving forward. The macro comparatives for AMC, likewise, are still the same. The projection landed here. We were looking at two of them, always the previous double bottom right next door, and then the double U formation prior to the June run-up. And the red previous bottom right next door, regardless, and we had talked about this briefly, of which peak this were to align itself with, and how we look at this as an invert mirroring, it doesn't really matter. I've looked at it in all, I guess, two ways that you can possibly look at that, putting the peak in here and the peak in here. We either have an invert mirroring that happened on the left-hand side of the entrance to this box top hit and fulfillment on that third before the breakdown and the neckline breakdown, or we have it happen on the right-hand side of it on the breakdown. Either way, you can see where the projection was fulfilled to the upside. You have some invert mirroring going on, and then the breakdown of that box top and that third hit and that neckline to the downside, and a continued fulfillment of the macro comparative in either of those positions. So you can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond, if price action were to continue to fulfill this macro comparative in this position, what the projection is, and you can see we have fulfilled that downside projection as of last week as well. Once again, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So you can see that there moving forward. Then we have the pre-June run-up macro comparative, and I talked to you about two potential positions of this. Obviously, the first one would put that June replicated run-up somewhere soon, and I do believe it's still valid to some extent in that position, and you can see it likewise fulfilled that downside move, and you can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond what the projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it in that position. The secondary position of this would extend all of this out quite a ways. It would be pulling it over here like this, and it likewise fulfilled the projection to the downside. It is, however, showing more downside here moving forward into tomorrow and beyond than obviously the extended projection out here prior to that replicated run up. So that is something that if and when we continue to get fulfillment out of it, we have a lot of time between where we're at now and where that projected move up would be in that position. Other than that, this is the position that I have continuously reviewed with you and tracked as a potential second macro comparative, so you can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond what that would look like if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Moving on to GME. GME's current intra-week snake is the blue that's on here. Likewise, last week, if we go back Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday, this is where we were positioned with it going into the week last week when I did the update and prep on Sunday, and we got the fulfillment of this, as you can see, throughout the entire week with the move to the downside back down to the macro ascending level of support. You can see if we were to continue to fulfill this current intra-week snake, what the projection is moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. The macro comparative is from the previous double bottom right next door, and I have viewed this in both the straight up and the mirrored position. This is the mirrored position of it. It is the only one that I can see is valid at the moment and has continued to fulfill. You can see that we fulfilled from the minute we mirrored again back downside. We have one invert mirroring here of the downside projection fulfilled in an upside manner, and then it converged back with it down to the ascending level of support, and we've started fulfilling that bounce at the end of last week accordingly. And you can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond what the projection is from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Then last but not least is SPY. The current intra-week snake for SPY. Now, I had been looking at two of them previously, the green the day of, the red the day prior to. The day of the previous divergence here, the green, you can see, and we talked about this last week, about this possibly invert mirroring this projected upside move to the downside. Therefore, this needed to be mirrored to view that projection moving forward, and that's what it was going into last week. And you can see we fulfilled that, and you can see moving forward into tomorrow and beyond what the projection is from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it in the mirrored position. In the straight up position, we talked about a potential convergence back with it. You can see in its position that it provided the projection and fulfillment until that mirroring right here, where we had potentially converged back with it. You see we're mirroring this. It is 100% identifiable as far as I'm concerned as a mirror at this point. If it were to converge back, obviously it would have to bounce heavy back upside to converge back with that. The day prior to the previous divergence started off in a mirrored position and fulfillment down here. We fulfilled that, and then we mirrored from here. Then if we mirror that back to its straight up position for that fulfillment, you can see that it has continued to fulfill it all of last week as well, and it is completed and fulfilled to its expiry, therefore needing a new day of and day prior to potential intra-week snake moving forward. So I did clip a day of and day prior to, so we'll check those out if this were the scenario moving forward and we were not to continue to fulfill the day of divergence in its mirrored position as you see here. So if we do not continue to fulfill that, obviously I'm going to be looking at the previous day prior to and now the completion of that. So here is the one with a 1 day overlap. You can see the projection moving forward into tomorrow and beyond from that potential current upcoming intra-week snake. And then here is the second one. It is very similar where we get this consolidation throughout the length of it. A little bit nuanced throughout. Let me change the color real quick. A little bit nuanced throughout, but nonetheless, macro consolidation between roughly the 414 and the 438, if that were to be the scenario moving forward. However, until it proves me otherwise, as it stands right now, I am going to continue to use the day of divergence. It has given the longer projection and fulfillment thus far, and it gave it all in one position until 2 weeks ago when it mirrored, and it has now continued to fulfill it in that mirrored position. So I am hanging my hat on this one for the time being, and then we will continue to discuss and potentially view these new potential ones moving forward. Then the macro comparative from the 08-09 correction and crash. We talked about this. Here's the bird's eye of it on top of current and where that would put us currently. And we talked about potentially placing this either the peak already being in or the peak potentially not being in yet. So that is kind of how I am looking at this. Obviously, if we continue to break down and fulfill this in that manner moving forward into this week, you can see what the projection would be if the peak were in and we were to continue to fulfill it in that manner. However, if that peak were not in yet, and I do believe there's validity to either position of this currently, then obviously I'm expecting to see that bounce and then the fulfillment of the peak up here on the macro third at around the 437 price level before then the breakdown were to begin. So that is the characteristic of movements that I will be looking for regarding the macro comparative on SPY moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. Excuse me. That is everything that I have that I am looking at with AMC, GME, and SPY moving into tomorrow and beyond. And that is everything I have for this video. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you all very much. Do me a favor, do not forget to smash the like button, comment, let me know how y'all are doing, man. I miss y'all. I hope that I don't regress, that we can continue to move forward and have a normal week, back to normal operations here. So yeah, let me know how y'all are doing in the comments. I will get an update and prep video out tomorrow night after market close. I will update you all moving forward this week about the live stream on Wednesday, and then we'll just handle it one day at a time. But like I said at the beginning, as long as everything stays at least where I'm at right now, I should be able to push through and provide that much at a minimum this week. So we'll try it and see how it goes. We do have the APE dividend for AMC supposed to be delivered this week, so this could be a pretty exciting week one way or the other. You see what the projections are from what it is that I do and what it is that I'm looking at moving forward into tomorrow and beyond on AMC. Regardless of that, I'm going to stick with what has always worked for me, what is continuing to work for me, and hopefully it has provided you somewhat of some value as well. So I will get the update and prep video out tomorrow night. Good luck tomorrow in the markets. Make some extreme gains for yourselves, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Later.